Consider a thin infinite long straight conductor of linear charge density lambda. Let P be a point at a distance r from the line. To find the electric flux at a point P, draw a cylindrical Gaussian surface of radius r and height h. Let phi1 be the electric flux through the surface S1. Then we can write phi1 as phi1 equal to closed interval E dot ds1 in the dot product form equal to closed interval E dot ds1 cos theta. We know that theta is 90 degree in the surface 1. So we can substitute the value of cos 90 here. We know that the value of cos 90 is 0. So the equation automatically becomes 0. Let's check. That is equal to closed interval E dot ds into 0. So phi1 becomes 0. This means that no field lines are passing through the infinite long straight conductor. Now we have to calculate the electric flux through the surface 2 or S2. For that, let phi2 be the electric flux through the surface 2. Phi2 equal to closed interval E dot ds2. In the dot product form, we can write this as closed interval E dot ds2 cos theta. Here we must substitute the value of theta. Here the value of theta is 0 degree. We know that the value of cos 0 is 1. So we will get the equation closed interval E dot ds2. Now E is a constant here, so we are taking E outside. So E dot integral ds2. So we have come to a new equation. Integral ds2 is the total surface area. So we can write this equation in another manner. I'll show you. So we are going to write this. So here phi2 can be written as E into S. Here S represents the area of the curved surface. So we know that the area of the curved surface is 2 pi RH or 2 pi RL. Here the height of the thin conductor can be replaced by L. So the equation here becomes phi2 equal to E into 2 pi RH. That is phi2 equal to E into 2 pi RL. Let phi3 be the electric flux through the surface S3. Then we can write phi3 as phi3 equal to closed interval E dot ds. In dot product form equal to closed interval E dot ds cos theta. The value of theta in the third surface is 90 degree. The value of cos 90 is 0. So automatically the equation phi3 becomes 0. This is similar to case 1 where the electric field lines are completely absent. Now we have to calculate the total flux. For that we can write phi3 as the sum of phi1, phi2 and phi3. We know that the values of phi1 and phi3 are 0. So the value of phi3 will be phi2. So phi3 is E into 2 pi RL. So this is the net flux. Now this flux should be equal to 1 by epsilon times the net charge enclosed by the surface. Now we have to apply Gauss's theorem. So the equation can be written as E into 2 pi r L equal to 1 by epsilon 0 into lambda L. Here the two L's will get cancelled. So the equation E now becomes lambda by 2 pi r epsilon 0, or E can also be written as E directly proportional to 1 by r. This is a very important statement. So I would like to share one or two questions from the topics that we have covered so far. We know that the equation E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon 0 into d. So we can write lambda as 2 pi epsilon d into E. In this question, d is given as 0.02 meter and E is 9 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. And we know that epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the free space, and the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Now we should substitute all these values in lambda. So lambda equal to 0.02 into 9 into 10 raised to 4 by 2 into 9 into 10 raised to 9. Now the final answer is lambda equal to 10 microcoulomb per meter. Answer for A is, to the left of the plates, electric fields are equal and opposite as plates are close to each other. Electric field is 0 as surface charge density in outer side is 0. Answer for B is that to the right of the plates, electric fields are equal and opposite as plates are close to each other. Therefore, electric field also becomes 0. Coming to the C part, we know that electric field intensity E in region 2 is given by the equation E equals to charge density of plate B by epsilon 0. We know that epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space and its value is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Now substituting the values of this in E, we get E equal to 17.0 into 10 raised to minus 22 by 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Now the final answer is E is equal to 1.92 into 10 raised to minus 10 Newton per coulomb. I hope all of you might have understood the topics taken so far. Gauss's theorem, its applications along with derivations are very important topics which have even appeared in last year's board exam.